Hello and welcome to episode 34 of our Hearts of Iron 3 Puppet Master series. So we're still fighting the Soviet Union, but the last episode was very promising. We have started pushing back the Soviets across the entire width of the front, and my SS Corps, or SS Army I should say, has done a number of encirclements. They've all been fairly small, and the first one took a long time. But the Soviet army is definitely weaker, and every encirclement we do just makes them that little bit worse off. And of course, it's become apparent they don't actually have enough manpower to replace their divisions, so it's basically a permanent loss at this point. However, it's well into 1948, so I didn't defeat the Soviet Union in the game's usual time period, but hopefully it won't be too much over time. In Persia, things have gone poorly for us. The Soviets, with their Persian allies, have been pushing us right back. I believe they're actually into northern Iraq at the moment. And we did try our partisan uprising in Indochina, but really the AI just didn't do anything with the troops, and I kind of couldn't be bothered managing it directly myself. I was focusing on the Eastern Front, so I basically just used them for manpower, which is kind of bad. Just because I think that's a bit gamey, but we did it and whatever. So anyway, we'll get this going. I'm currently finishing off an encirclement around Kursk here. So you see there's a little bit of a gap in the line, but we're moving our SS troops around. Well, it doesn't matter because it looks like Bulk's about to overrun the few remaining Soviet troops. Not quite. Well, one of them just got eliminated. And basically, as soon as Bulk gets into that province, the retreating Soviet troops will just... There they go, they've just been overrun, so they've been wiped out. Oh, another infantry division shattered. I will delete it, just because it's going to be a drain on my manpower. Major General Troger. I'm assuming a lot of my generals are maxed out at this point. So I'm down to negative 132 manpower. And obviously one of my headquarters got wiped out as well, and I can't place headquarters, they require manpower. So all these guys are just getting attached at random into the Obercommander Europe, and they will be reassigned where they're needed. So my SS troops are still in good condition, so we're just going to keep heading north and trying to circle Orel at this point, it looks like. And the geometry of the provinces around here isn't great, but hopefully the AI can move up and cover my southern flank. And let's not go through Orel, just prevent the Soviets from cutting us off. There actually aren't a lot of German troops around here now that I look, or Allied troops for that matter, a couple of French divisions there. But what's kind of be expected, when I'm doing these encirclements, the AI is quite slow pushing up. So just tend to get out ahead of things. More underground resistance, and I'll pop it in my Indian thing I'm proposing. And I'm setting everyone to spread, but I probably should be setting them to just maintain their strength. Because I don't really need a big uprising here. I mean, a big uprising helps, so that's good, but I really only need, 2 brigades and I can cut the Soviets off from supply. I should also mention my main goal here is to actually keep driving the SS Corps, or Army, north until I can reach up with those troops moving towards... Well, I suppose let's just go towards Moscow and cut off all these troops here against the against the Polish border. Because I see, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 armoured divisions and a heavy armoured division in there. So that would be the kind of loss that the Soviets just wouldn't be able to recover from ever. And we've actually managed to trap a decent chunk of troops in Orel here. So that is very promising. Yeah, I'll set these 3 just to build up their strength, or... No, I'll keep them expanding for now. Yeah. Oh, we've captured Leningrad. That's a very good sign. Of course, it's one of the major victory locations. Oh, it looks like most of the Soviet troops actually managed to escape my encirclement. But we'll still wipe out one division here. Oh, and they've actually got a better general than me. Rank 9 versus Reinhardt, who's maxed out, a little bit lower than that. And there we go, that Soviet division's destroyed. So now let's just push forward and link up with my allies through Kaluga. And again, our flanks aren't really secure because my allies are pushing up slowly, but we've almost reached Moscow. But hopefully I've just got the initiative here, my allies will be able to hold the Soviets enough, and if we can trap all those Soviet troops, as I said, they won't be able to hold the line. Well, they already can't hold the line, but they'll have absolutely no hope. More partisans, and I'll just disband them. Gives me a little bit of manpower. One more province to go, and we've completed the encirclement. And it actually feels like it's been a while since the Soviets have counterattacked any of my troops. So this might just be a case of they'll just let us have it. Oh, okay, I didn't really want to do that. I was trying to switch it to pause to build up its strength, but I accidentally clicked to, start a partisan uprising. I've only got 2 brigades and they're well away from where they should be, but hopefully if I can get them together, I'll just get these ones to get partisan brigades up as soon as they can. And hopefully we can make this work. And of course there's an infantry division on the way, and actually a Persian infantry division as well. So that was poorly timed on my part. Well, accidental, but still, should have picked a better time. Fall of Leningrad, we already knew that. Struggle for the east continues, but probably not for long. We're getting very close to Moscow, and Stalingrad's not far away. And I think once you capture all 3, the Soviet Union basically surrenders. And yeah, lots of trapped Soviet troops. Look at all those armoured divisions, mechanised, paratroopers, a couple of mountain divisions in there. All of which are very expensive to build. Oh, and I've lost a pretty major headquarters here by the looks of it. All these French... Oh no, well maybe the French have just given me their entire army. Or at least a lot of troops here, and they all seem to be French. I'll just do the same thing, just attach them somewhere into my Oberkommando Europe's command structure. One thing I'm really looking forward to in... Oh, let's do this. This makes it much easier. As I say, one thing I'm really looking forward to in Hearts of Iron 4 is that you've gotten rid of this whole command structure thing. I mean, there still is kind of a version of this, but it's much simpler and should be much quicker to use. And you don't have the headquarters divisions to worry about anymore, which I think actually adds to the game. It's just a case of, for me, well, you can kind of tell because I leave most of it on AI when I'm doing these things. I do, if I'm playing a small nation, I'll control the armies myself, but for a major power, it's just too much work to actually do everything you have to do to command the army, so I just leave them on AI for the most part. Usually I take about 20 or 30 divisions for myself to actually win the war with. But on Hearts-of-Iron 4 it doesn't look like you'll have to do that, and you'll be able to drop battle plans for everything without too much hassle. The pocket's being reduced nicely. And I suppose the one good thing about this failed partisan uprising we're doing is that seems to be, well, I was going to say drawing some Soviet troops into India where they're not going to do any good, but I suppose those divisions are probably coming anyway. And they've got more than enough in Persia to hold me and my allies back. We're about halfway to winning. Oh, sunk the October Revolution. Got all my spies in the Soviet Union, lowering their national unity. More than halfway to surrendering. And, well, the Soviets, as I said, they didn't really even seem to try to counterattack my SS Corps. So, my SS Corps aren't even really holding the line anymore. So I might just send them on a big drive to Moscow since it's so close. Oh, there's some more militia popped up. And yes, I did order a single militia brigade to attack a Soviet infantry division. That was not the wisest thing I've ever done. But at least we got a decent partisan uprising here, and a lot of Soviet and Persian troops are back fighting it. Okay, so where are my SS troops? Well back from the front line now, and actually they've run out of supplies. That's another thing I'm looking forward to in Hearts of Iron 4, is that supplies kind of aren't binary anymore. As in this game, if you don't have supplies or you don't have fuel, you basically can't do anything. Whereas if you've got a tiny bit of supply, you can do anything you want. But in Hearts of Iron 4 they've made it scale, so presumably when you've got no supply you can't do anything, but it's more that when you're at half supply you fight half as well, when you're at 25% supply you fight, well I don't know, I'm making up the numbers, but you know what I mean. The less supply you have, the worse you fight, which just makes it much more useful. Just because, well, it's like when I invaded Romania and I forgot to bring fuel and I just had to sit there for a couple of weeks while the fuel caught up with me. Hopefully that situation won't happen anymore. And the thing is, this game has arcade mode to, which helps. Well, it doesn't help, but it's just a different way of doing that, so that doesn't happen. But actually, it's really hard to fight in arcade mode because you can't encircle people; they still get supplies. But anyway, back to this game. We're attacking Moscow now. So far, the 4th SS is attacking by themselves, and they're actually out of supply. But the Soviet troops, well, the 6th SS has also joined. The Soviet troops aren't really in good condition. There's not a lot of them. There's a lot of headquarters divisions there, but not a lot of decent divisions. They're tank divisions at very low strength, and they're garrison divisions, garrison troops, so it's not very good to start with. And yeah, we should be able to defeat Moscow, conquer Moscow fairly soon. So I haven't quite been able to do my encirclement here like I'd planned, or cut off the Soviet supplies, but well, hopefully those partisans died for something. Still fighting in Moscow, but I haven't taken it yet. Oops. Don't know what's happened here. The game's paused. I might have alt-tabbed here by accident. That's the only thing I can think of. Hopefully it'll come back in a second. Here we go. Yeah, that looked like I alt-tabbed out by accident. Probably not alt-tabbed the Windows key. But anyway, we just took Moscow. And oh, lots of uprisings. That looked like a massive uprising in Holland. But I'll leave the AI to deal with that. I don't think they have many troops over in that part of the world. I think basically all the German troops we have are either in Africa, Persia, or on the eastern frontier. Partisans in Hanoi are going to get wiped out, I imagine. Fall of Moscow? Is this the end for Russia? Pretty much. Oh, 97.7%. Yeah, they're pretty much done. There'll be 1 or 2 more victory points, and they've lost. But we'll drive on to Stalingrad, I think. Just the same thing, the whole SS Corps charges in. As I say, the Soviets can't hold the front lines. And we've got enough allies there. Actually, our allies in that region completely outnumber the Soviets, so we should be able to hold our flanks even if we don't have troops there. And that will definitely be the end for the Soviet Union. Negative 105 manpower though, so it's not too bad, but it will take me a few months to recover. And by recover I mean have some manpower. And we'll still be at war with Persia. But hopefully once the Soviets are out of Persia, because we basically did defeat the Persian army before the Soviets showed up. The troops I've got there will be enough to deal with that. Partisans in Karachi. Oh, those are my partisans. And Jaipur as well. I'm just going to leave them for now. Just let the Soviets fight them. But since the Soviets are about to surrender, it doesn't actually serve any purpose. Those troops are just dying for nothing. Because, like, I mean, the battle's going to be won and lost here on the Eastern Front, and the Soviet troops in India aren't actually going to get back to the Eastern Front anywhere near quickly enough to affect it. So I don't even really need to bother having any troops here at all. I'll still try and cut them off though. It's merely habit at this point. As I say, this whole conflict in India has gotten completely and utterly irrelevant. We've just got to capture basically one more Soviet city and they've lost. And I've ordered them on to Stalingrad, but there's a bunch of other objectives that my allies or AI might take before then. But we'll just have to wait and see. SS troops are about a quarter of the way there. It is a long drive from Moscow to Stalingrad. Unfortunately, there are absolutely no enemy troops on the way until we actually get to Stalingrad, so it should be an easy drive. And yep, I'm already thinking about my next conquests. Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Finland are last remaining bits of Europe. Well, I suppose Turkey as well. Last remaining bits of Europe I haven't conquered. So, guess where I'm going after the Soviet Union. A couple of French divisions in here. I actually really hope my SS troops get here. Oh, Kepler's almost there. I was saying I hope they get there before my allies. Looks like there's a big Austrian contingent heading towards Stalingrad. And actually it looks like the Soviets have also realised Stalingrad's the main objective here and they're redeploying all their forces south to help defend it. But they're clearly not going to arrive in time. The Yugoslavs are one province away. Whereas my SS troops still have about 3 or 4 to go. Oh. And someone bid us. We captured another city before we got Stalingrad. So we've acquired territory. We did Drang Nach Osten, and the Soviet Union chose a bit of peace. But we've managed to win the war there, And I was hoping I could create some puppets from all this territory, like Ukraine and Belarus and Georgia and all those places, maybe even Russia. But that's okay. We just got a lot of territory for no good reason. Well, I'm trying to create puppets, it's the point of this series. And, well, I didn't get to create any more. But I suppose I took the Soviet Union, although... I just saw quickly, I'll just make these my objectives, and Finland's. But yeah, I've got a front line against the Soviet Union here. Which suggests that the Soviet Union's not actually my puppet. I'm pretty sure I put that as a war goal though. No, it's not on this list. I'll remove the other objectives. I don't need my... Where's Moscow? Underneath all the troops. Don't need my allies trying to hold these cities for me anymore. We should be able to manage it by ourselves. And Leningrad. Nope, the place next door. Well, here's that little Dutch uprising. Looks like a French division's coming to deal with it. And actually, they've given a whole bunch of their troops to so the Bhutan and Nepal, whichever one's the leader of the Allies at this point. And yeah, Soviet Union still in the Comintern. So, I'm going to have to go to war with the Soviets again to get them to be my puppet. But we can do a little bit first. And by a little bit I mean the Baltic states and possibly some others. Oh yeah, especially since I've got a truce with them. And a non-aggression pact. So I'll have to wait a little while for that to... for me to be able to break that, unfortunately. And Persia is getting pretty close to surrendering actually. And yes, I have set to puppet Persia. And I've got a lot of extra manpower here. Not manpower, industrial capacity. Probably from all the cities in Russia I just took. But with no manpower, I can't really do much with them, so I'm just going to leave it for now. Poland... What am I looking at Poland for? Actually, since I've got industrial capacity spare, I should be giving the United Kingdom my Lend-Lease, since they are asking for it. And this French division might as well join my troops as well. And we'll take the SS troops, and we're going to move them to Lithuania, or the border of Lithuania, into Vilno. And basically just drive north, and get 4 more puppets is the plan. And I might set Turkey, or Ankara I should say, as another objective. Partisans, I'm suppose I'm going to get a few of those now that I've conquered all this land. Fall of Stalingrad, yep, the war's over. A lot of Russia has fallen. And I suppose we've got most of the industrial bits. Oh, and all these troops. My little partisan uprising here is actually, there's no one fighting against it anymore. It's almost retaken Iraq. In Liberia and South Africa, again, our troops just don't invade those places. Bhutan is the leader of the Allies. Which is actually weird now that I think about it, because they've had a border with the United Kingdom for a long time. So I'm guessing the UK and Bhutan might not be at war yet. It's quite... Actually, no, that's probably true, because the UK became my puppet after I was fighting the Soviet Union. And since I've been fighting the Soviet Union, all of my enemies have joined the Comintern rather than the Allies. So the UK probably isn't actually at war with any of the people any of the people I went to war with since then. Or I mean at war with any of the Allies. Okay, it looks like we're finally going to cut off these troops, but well, they're all heading home anyway, and they'll just keep walking straight past my troops. It's the Persians in here if there are any that I've cut off. French are landing in Amsterdam. Where's my SS troops? They're not there yet. That's a big stack of Polish troops. Oh, they're only about halfway there. .2 manpower is all we need, and we can start building things again. And yep, Persia's not looking so great now that the Soviets have left. So they'll fall very soon. Looks like they're at about 99% surrender progress. Well, let's try 100% surrender progress. Yep, they've just surrendered, and now I've got another puppet. So take all these partisans and just disband them. And I've got a couple of infantry divisions here. One from France and one from the British. And my SS troops are in position, so we'll we won't declare war on Lithuania. We'll cancel transit rights once we get their forces out of their country, which I don't see what forces they are. No aircraft in their base. Oh, okay, it must have just passed through. Now we have to wait a week or so before we can declare war. 7th of August, so yeah, a week. Oh, I've been at peace so long, like 5 minutes. I'm not really at peace, I'm just not fighting anyone important. Not that Lithuania is particularly important, but you know what I mean. There we go, declare war. Puppet, I almost went conquer. And I believe those are their victory points. Actually, I've invaded Lithuania a few times. And just double check. Yep, I do remember where their victory points are. And it's basically just a nice, simple drive for my very experienced SS troops with very talented leaders. And that's Lithuania as a puppet. Oh, and look, all my allies have finally arrived to fight the partisan uprising. Hopefully they'll stay around in this general area. But if not, I've got a couple of divisions there and they should be able to deal with it. So the Soviet Union's there. National unity is estimated to be 43.2%, so hopefully it won't take a lot to defeat them again. I think the bigger problem is there aren't any victory points near our border, which would make it very hard to conquer them. Well, not hard, but it'll take time to drive a long way. Okay. And I'll just get my SS troops ready to invade Latvia. Oh, and Ethiopia is fighting Britain. And we're actually fighting South Africa now. Oh, because it must have been my attack. Yeah, Lithuania must have joined the Allies, which brought Britain into the war against the Allies. And I was going to build a few more infantry divisions there to end it, but well, we did alright. We defeated the Soviet Union, but it wasn't the victory I wanted, so we're going to have to go to war with them again to make them our puppets. We did manage to puppet Persia though, and Lithuania, and we've finally managed to get our allies to start fighting Ethiopia and South Africa. And presumably Liberia as well, because I probably had the same problem in that Britain wasn't at war with them, so therefore my troops couldn't use Britain as a staging point to attack them. We are ready to invade Latvia, and after Latvia will be Estonia, and after Estonia Finland, and then hopefully by that point we can go finish off the Soviet Union. So, we finally managed to beat the Soviets, and it only took, let's say, 20 episodes. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's a long time we spent fighting the Soviets, and eventually managed to win, just because their manpower collapsed. But it ended well, only about a year over time. But yeah, things are looking up for us. Hopefully we'll beat the Soviets the second time just as easily, or even easier I should say. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all then.